there's something really important for me in making paintings. They're really helping me exist in a world, in a way that I feel safe in the world, you know? Or the same as like if you make music, it's really important for the musician to make music, but it's also really important for the audience to hear the music. It's really mad that you chose to come here. I feel very honoured.
Yeah, it's the first time, to be honest, that I fly somewhere for these kind of videos.
This is Brighton.
Some angel was talking to me like, this is a good idea.
Yeah, that's great. That's what I like to hear. I think it's funny, like, Brighton is a strange place. I think I came here because it really felt like there was someone calling me here or something.
Oh.
You know, this was like 8 years ago or something, you know, like a long time. And now I don't really feel it when I come here. I'm like, okay, Brighton, okay, like, da-da-da. This is the way to travel. You've eaten it before and you're like, yeah, it was great the first time, but now it's like, tastes real different. Or you don't even notice how good it tastes. Can I please have the Harry's Famous Haddock, please?
Harry's Famous Haddock, yeah, of course.
Do you want coffee?
Oh, yeah, I would love one, yeah.
I don't know how nice it'll be. I mean, I bought this coffee yesterday. I get quite grumpy about Brighton a lot. I've got a lot of negative stuff to say, but I do really love it. It is nice sometimes coming back here and thinking like, people are kind of, maybe they're not tolerant, but they're very accepting of like weird stuff. It's just like one block and then another block and the fucking cows. That's all you need when you're making a painting. It's interesting because like these sheep paintings, it's like, they kind of, for me, they mean like loads of different stuff, and there's a thing with, I don't know, like, yeah, so it depends who you talk to that you say like completely different stuff about your work, and I think that that's normal, but it's kind of really jarring, I think, for a lot of people. You can kind of contain loads of different truths at any given time about yourself. I think that's kind of what I was thinking on the way here today. I was like, that's kind of what I'm going to say that. Yeah, with the sheep paintings, it's like, you know, you've got one sheep, but it's got loads of incarnations, or the other way around, like you've got a crowd of sheep, but it's all like the same sheep. We just started this band, and there's a song called like Cows and Chickens in this song. And it's like a kind of, it's like a ballad, or what's it called, like a bit like a marching song or something. And it's kind of talking about these animals, like, you know, we talk about like how, like we went into this like the age of agriculture and all of that, and then all of these animals kind of get domesticized, and at that same time, like humans are kind of domesticizing each other, and we become like this thing, and then that kind of develops, and da-da-da, and now we're here, and we've still got these animals who kind of represent that pivotal time between like wilderness and domesticity. And I'm trying to sort of, yeah, I don't know, I just see that as like a big, you've got like these two kind of extremes in you as like a human. You've got like, you want to be part of civilization, or you want to be a member of society, you know, and you want to do that in a way that doesn't fuck with everyone else. But on the other side of that, you want to be like part of the natural wilderness, you know, you want to be like your kind of instinctual self sometimes, and be weird. It's tricky because I think I don't really know, you know, there are all these little like images of things, like figurative things that exist, but at the same time they don't feel like that when, I don't know, I'm not making them to be like images of stuff, and people kind of say, oh, this looks like medieval England or whatever, which it, you know, it does, and I really like all of that stuff. And I think it was a big part of my like formative years to like, sort of run around in the landscape. That was good. That was some like top draw flying there.
Nice flying!
That's the one. That's the one, man. No, it doesn't stop here. Fuck.
Oh, it's not the one!
It's alright, it's good to walk. This is how you travel. This is the way to travel. I don't know who wrote this. I put in so many enigmas and puzzles that it will keep the professors busy for centuries arguing over what I meant. And that's the only way of ensuring one's immortality.
If you could, would you like to be immortal?
No, I mean, It's a good question. What do you mean by like? What do you mean by immortal? What do you mean by you? Bro?
Okay.
You really gotta focus in on. I feel like there's a real love story in my work between me and my body, but it's also like a love story between my body and like Nina's body. And then there's this one exhibition, a love song for a desolate landscape. So it was kind of like these steps between like my sensation of having a body, my sensation of Nina, and my sensation of the landscape that we existed in. We've got this like these horizon lines in a lot of my paintings, and it's like landscape, sky, and the sky can have these consciousnesses in them, and the landscape can have the bodies in it. You see what I mean? And you get like angels up here and shepherds down here. Maybe you can cut this to like images of my work. I'm not, I'm not telling you how to do your job.
Mother Death, Father Beast, your twin holds a steel sheet, heather breast and cold wet peat bog boots tied together, legs strapped to roots. Your twin holds an avalanche. A witch's broom, recent plague, foreign moon. Mother Death, she says there's always a place for you. The bed's just as you left it in your room.
I do feel very lucky to be here. I do feel really lucky, and I don't feel like I got here on my own. I got here because like other people told me to keep doing it. And if I'd have met enough people who were like, stop doing this, and they were like my main caregivers, I would have probably listened to that. But I think I've met enough people within and without, like a community of artist people who have told me to keep doing it. And that's not like, they're not, I haven't met all of these people in like the real life world or whatever. Some of these people have been like in books or like in older stories, or, you find what you're doing in a book that's like talking about something that's 2,000 years old, and you're like, all right, well maybe there's something to this. It's not just like me doing it. It's not just like my own ego, blah, 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 telling me to focus on this. It's like thousands of people have been doing this for thousands of years. My mum would be really like, no, you've got to go and get a job. And then I'd get a job, and then she'd be like, no, you have to follow your dreams. Like, what are you doing? Like, you shouldn't be like getting upset doing this stuff, and then like go do that, and then it would kind of reverse. So it was really like, I think they just kind of told me what I wanted to hear. Or maybe I just had selective hearing, I'm not going to blame my parents for everything. But it definitely felt like I'm looking at the world and I'm like, you get the most freedom of thought in this place. Yep. And then that kind of leads you to do it more. And you're exploring kind of yourself and the world at the same time. You're not lying to anyone, you're not tricking anyone. And you can kind of make something for yourself that's like very authentic to you and very like translatable. A lot of other people can get on board with it, and it's not just like you kind of dictating the world. It's like really you connecting with the world, and that feels really good.
The camera is obviously running right now. I see the microphone blinking, so I'm constantly reminded also by just seeing that we are keeping this moment in a way. And I still want to, of course, be natural in who I am or the questions that I ask, and don't pretend to be someone else in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So I think it could be translates similarly into being in the studio and having the painting in front of you, which constantly says, I don't know, I'm here.
They have the sweet microwave popcorn just sitting there on the side. There's a shooter on the hill. He's a man, still a man. He's a lamb. still a man, and the president is still a man. Running beside a bleating baby Jesus, he's still a lamb, and the president is still a man, still a man, still a man.
Even in the studio I can feel inauthentic. When I feel like really authentic, like the payoff is huge. And almost it's like it becomes like out of body authentic. You know, it's like it's more than me, like my ego, whatever, the character of me disappears. And that feels more true to something than like an idea I'd have about myself beforehand. That we go into the room with, go into the studio with, I'm this guy, I said this stuff about my paintings, these are my paintings, I'm going to make those paintings. By the time you're in there, it's like you're talking about someone else.
In like a lot of cartoons when I was a kid, they made like shields out of bin lids.
Did you study painting or
I studied, so my dad is a stained glass artist, so he paints on glass. He took us to a lot of like churches when we were younger to look at the paintings, or he was looking at the paintings and we were running around like playing in the churches. And I think all of that like interaction with art and God at the same time has definitely like done something. I think I was really lucky with that because I didn't go to a lot of museums and be like, these people are in museums because people have said the right things about them. It's like I went to religious places because that's kind of part of being a human. I suppose like some sort of thing happens to you and then you have a spiritual experience and then you try and figure out what that means or why it happened or, you know, something about yourself or how you want to be in the world. And so those things have always been really connected, like art and spirituality or religion or whatever you want to call it. The divine. I think the divine, you're allowed to say the divine, right? Here we are.
That was so
quick,
but yeah, kind of quick.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? People think they take a long time. So, you've been here, it's about 12 hours now. I think it's, you go get the white spirit in, you know, thin. Build it up. You got your cadmium red, you got your cobalt blue, which makes like a really nice dark, almost black. And if you've got that red wash underneath, then everything kind of is brought forward, and then you're kind of pushing it backwards. There's a lot of this like the contrast, you know, and then you've got like the dark and the light, and they can represent kind of any like binary question, right? You've got like, should I go to war? Should I stay at home? And then those two things, you're kind of like entering into a dialogue between those things, and then you've got this kind of the passage of time, right? That you're working within time. So like I could do something wrong, and then it's wrong, and then I have to like fix it or leave it, and then there's like an honesty there. There's like an authenticity. So like the more authentic you make the painting, the more true it is to like yourself. Whereas if you try and cover shit up all the time, you end up with a painting that looks overdone and kind of false, and you're not really listening to like, you know, the universe there. Like the thing is telling you the answers. You're giving it the stimulus. It's giving you the answers of what happens when you do the thing that you're doing. There you are. But look up there. I don't know if you can see that little window there. Isn't that great? The smaller windows, the older the building. Because glass was more expensive. It was harder to make bigger pieces of glass. So I don't know if you know, but with the glass, you had to make a bottle and then make one side flat and then cut out the flat bit. And that's how you got flat bits of glass. There's like loads of, it's quite an artistic church. It has a really nice ceiling. It feels really good. And different ages of care, you know. These little shrines. I really want to do that more. You know, these are like kind of the brush marks of the mason. It just feels like, you know, they built these places for as like a focus point for a community. And I think in a sense, when you're making paintings, you're making it from a community, with a community, for a community, for a thing that you're part of. You know, it's like people say you shouldn't think too much about your audience, but it's like you're kind of built of everyone else. And the church is built of everyone else, you know. I think a lot of the work, it's like, I really want to make it for Nina, or there's a sort of, you know, me and her make a culture. It's like as soon as you like involve other people and you can share something, you can build something that's bigger than both of you, you know? And that feels huge. That's nice.
Where did you meet Nina?
Brighton. You know when you're really trying to focus on something and you can't find the answer to it. And then as soon as you stop thinking about it, the answer comes. Something in there is important. I don't know what it is. Look at this one. Something really like, you have to get the right type of boards. So that one sounds like that, right? Whereas this one sounds like this. You know, slightly different. This one's MDF. Whereas this one's plywood.
Yeah.
So this will last longer. Or maybe it won't, I don't know. But again, like these kind of fiery scenes.
What's going on with the fire? Well,
Yeah.
is there an
What's
experience behind
what the
it?
fuck is
or
going on with
what's
that?
going on with the fire?
I
I mean,
think-
there's a lot of
Yeah.
fiery imagery, right?
Well, it's like that. I think with the red as well, I'm really like drawn to that cadmium red because it's got like that element of death in it. It's like a sort of, it's a really emotive color. But on the same, I think, you know, I've had the radio, I've had like horrible news, you know, it's been like, you know, it's quite an expensive place to live and try and paint full time, you know?
Yeah.
My body doesn't know the difference between like stress, like you're in a big explosive fire, and stress, like you got to pay bills and you got to pay rent and da 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 da. You know? Trains in the night, ghosts on the radio, violin in, piano and rain on the way out. Days here pass like freight trains in the night, ghosts on the radio, violin in. Piano and rain on the way out. Days here pass like freight trains in the night. Ghosts on the radio. Violin in. Violin in. Violin in. Piano and rain. Trains in the night. People don't trust their body, you know, they see something, they feel something, and then they're like, oh, I probably shouldn't feel that, so I'm not going to listen to that, and I'm just going to chat shit because that's what I've heard other people do. Sometimes you go to an exhibition and people are like, wow, I feel like this, and you're like, well, that's great, I feel like this, and then you can talk about how you feel, and that's fine, you know, and it doesn't need to be more than that. It's like, I think what we're doing is we're making communication through images, and your body understands that. Your eyes see something and it pushes a thought, and then you can talk about the thought, you know, and that's, if you want to do that, that's cool. If you don't want to talk, you don't have to, you know. It's like, you make the rules, we make the culture. That's what we're doing, we're making culture. It's not like we're, you know, there is no rule. And then what's amazing is when you feel something and person next to you feels that too, and you can say, oh my God, we're sharing an experience, you know, we're sharing this experience of being alive at the same time, and that's to the best of our knowledge, genuine. You know, we're not making it up, we're being authentic, and that's powerful. And it's crazy powerful, you know?
Okay, bye now. Thanks to the internet. The mind begins to fold around. I become long, become the story, and I split a fine mind in a folded time, blind to blind, toe to toe, face to face,
Thanks, Jesus.
hand to